you through the Prime software. Go ahead and launch the icon here. Get the login screen. Now, this computer that we're dialing into is hooked to a touchscreen monitor. So whenever I start typing right here, and if I click on the word password, it's going to bring up this just because it's on a touchscreen monitor. So it's touchscreen friendly, and if you see things pop up like this, it's not normal if you're going to use, typewriter with keyboard and mouse. So, all right. So once we're into the software, you can see in the upper left-hand corner, it gives you the operator, whoever's logged in into the software. You can set up as many users as you want to. One nice thing about the software is that if you give the admin rights to the operator, they can go into the support mode, which is all the background settings that we'll go over briefly. Institution name, DICOM settings, and all that stuff right there. If you give them a tech user, this is grayed out. So just your normal operating text, basically all they can do is acquire an image and send an image and, burn a CD and do just tech things, nothing administrative, which is pretty nice. Just grays it out. No way for them to get in there. As you can see, you have a log out button. It just logs you out of the software. And if you want to exit, brings you back to the desktop. Configuration is going to be another little guide that we'll go over just to configure different body parts and add procedures and different views. So the software for itself is laid out pretty simple. You have a patient view, you have an x-ray view, and then a list. So these three categories are exactly what they say. The patient's where you're going to key in your patient information or gather from modality work list. Then you go to the x-ray mode, and that's where the exposures are going to be made. And then the list, that's when it's studied. It's going to be your study list, and this is, you can see all the images that you've done, and from there, burn CDs, manually push to any kind of packs, print, do whatnot from there. So we'll start off with the patient mode, and you can see right here, you have work list functionality. So with the RIS system, you would just, click the RIS, and it would automatically populate your work list right here. As you can see, we have 10 patients currently right here in the system. So they would just populate right here. So if you had a modality work list, you'd very simply just highlight the patient that you want, click the x-ray mode, and you would go into the x-ray. To manually key in somebody, if they're not there or you're not using modality work list, again, just click the word new. And then right here off to the side, this is where your patient demographics would be entered in. The fields in red are the mandatory items that need to be keyed in there. So we'll just do, try to think of, so here, then here, date of birth, so then you can select male or female, study description if you need to, and then you can do any kind of notes. So when you're finished, you have all this information right here. You can see there's also a place for a session number, requesting physician, and what you would do is you would just insert that patient, and now it's in your work list. So we can come here, and we can look for Tom Jerry, as I did, highlight him, and then click on X-ray. Here at the X-ray, you have 3 separate places. You make your plan, you can edit the plan if you need to, and you make your exposures. So for making your plans, basically just selecting the different body parts that you need to X-ray. As you can see at the bottom on the left-hand side, you have your regular adult, and you have your smaller patients, and then you got to go down to your pediatrics. So, for example, I'm going to do a chest X-ray. I'm going to just click on the chest region on the little skeleton guide. Here you can see these guys that are in red. These are procedures that are already built in. So I can select chest 2 view, and what's going to do is going to automatically give me my PA and lateral. You can also go ahead and select individual ones that were there. The reason for the yellow ones and the white ones is because we're in demo mode, and these have some images for us and the other ones don't. And that's basically, all the differences on there. So I'll add another lateral chest X-ray just so you can see it. And if I go over to edit, then it allows me to delete whichever one I messed up on, but you accidentally clicked on something. And that simple, that study, that image that you want to do, that view, I should say, is gone. So if we go over to the exposure screen, here are your two different projections that you're looking to do, and this would be the side on the left-hand side where the image will pop up. Again, being in demo mode, I have a little radiation button here, but you can also see for a wireless panel we have battery and signal strength, and we have green telling us that we're good to go and make an exposure. So I'll go ahead and first start off by selecting the PA. You can go in any order you want, make the exposure. Again, these panels are AED, just like all the other panels. It's the same PerkinElmer panel. So you just put it in the line of X-ray and you make your exposure on your existing console. When the exposure is finished and your image is finished processing, it will pop up in this window. It's about 4 to 6 seconds. From here at the bottom, you have a few simple viewing tools. And what's kind of neat about these, like for the zoom, for example, if I click on it, it's going to zoom it in stages predetermined by the software. As you can see, when I click it, you see how it just automatically bumps it up that much. And if I do it again, it'll bump it up again, a little bit more. So if I go back 2 clicks, back to my original image, and you have the same thing with window level, or you can just go ahead and use the mouse window level and kind of do exactly the window level that you want to do yourself. So that's pretty neat there. If you need any more advanced tools that you want to do for this, let's say put a marker or do anything on it, you can hit this I button right here, which brings you into the viewer, and then it gives you your full array of tools all right here on the right-hand side. So from here, we can, let's say, add a marker. So we can click over and drag a left marker. If we need to do a text, you can go here and you click on where you want to put it. And then right here, you just basically put in your text. So we can just say, for example, supine, and then you can choose a different kind of font if you want. You can choose the size that you want to put it on there. There's predetermined text for you right there if you need to. If you're going to put it over a white area, you can, make it black. If you're going to put over a black area, you can make it white. So, it's pretty neat right there. And then, so simply, I just have that there, and I can just drag it wherever I need to on the image. Okay? Got some little instructions right here in case you need. Turn those guys off. So when you finish, go back. So we're back to here. Get the lateral exposure. Make it. Everything's good there. And then you can either accept each image or both of them are done. Go ahead and just click Finish the Study. When it finishes the study, it brings you back to the patient list. But if I go to my work list here, you can see today, here's my patient with my 2-view chest x-ray. And from here, you can display in viewer if you don't have your, if you're going to pick and choose where you're going to DICOM send it to. You can click Send, Print, Create CD, or we can add another study for this existing patient. So we'll start right here. Display in viewer. Again, brings you back into the viewer with all the different tools that you need to. If you want to look at them side by side, you can do this. And let's see. Tell it where to go. So you have those side by side, or turn it back off. It has basically everything that you need there. So, for example, if you hit the little arrow out, it kind of gives you a little explanation of what each one does. So your flips and rotates. We already went over the markers. You have the invert, so we can invert the contrast. And you have your window levels, the zooms. One extra feature that we do have with the software, there is stitching that's available. Now this won't look too perfect because it's not a spine, but we can go over the stitching tool. So you can see you have 2 images. You select which way you want to align the images. We'll just go this way. And then we're going to say, I want this one as number 1, I want this one as number 2. And then we'll execute the plan. Then once we execute it, it'll bring it as we selected it. And then from here, you can click and drag and bring it over and do what you need to do with that. You have other tools down here as far as for cutting the images and display the overlapping boundaries to get a more fine-tune of where you're lining up your images. When you're finished, simply just click accept, and then it'll give you another picture to make sure that's what you want to do. And when you say yes, it saves it and gives you the third image. So you have your two regionals plus your stitched image right there. Again, we'll go back. Now you can see here. So since we added the stitched image after the fact, you can see it's in this magenta color and it's not finished. So I can go ahead and finish study and then make it green. So from there, like I said, we so the DICOM push is included, and it's unlimited sends that you want to do. You can also have the auto send function enabled if you need to. If not, let's say you have two places. You have your pack that you want to send all your images to, and then you have like a specialist. Then you can pick and choose. So a list would populate right here, and you can just select, well, I want to send this chest to whoever. Very simple. It's checked off. Click Start. You can change your compression ratios right here and do that. If you need to print, just prepare my images for print, and you can see there's 1, 2, and then image 3. You can change the layout if you want to print more in there. You can see I changed the header, and I put just Taiba just so you can see how you can change this information on the header of the actual images. So we have that. Creating a CD. So when you create a CD, it's pretty neat. You can do single or you can do multiple patients on there. And then with that, as you can see, you can choose current images, the entire study, just a series, with reports, without reports, and do all that. Once you finish what you want, you just say, I want to add to the compilation, and it creates a compilation list of studies that you want to burn. And then you can remove them if you made a mistake, discard them, or whatever. So if I want to add another one, for example, I'll just say save compilation, and then I'll add this Kenneth guy to my CD if I just want to make two. And as you can see, if I hit add, now I have the two different patients that are there. If I want to get rid of one, I can discard that compilation and just go back to this one, and then save it. And then when I'm ready to physically burn the CD, there's no CD in the drive, but you would just export to CD. Or we can export to a USB drive as well. You would just have to select on the drop down of the drive where you're going and the destination for that. And close that out. If this Jerry guy comes back and you need to add another study for it, just highlight him. You can say, I want to do a new study. And it brings you right back here, and you just go through the whole process again, selecting it. But what's nice is that it gives you all this information already. You don't have to key it back in, and you can go ahead and start another exam. Then under the More tab, there's a few little things. You can recycle images to reject them. No, it open them to the recycle bin. You can look at statistic overviews of the image. You can upload images. You can change patient data, which is probably the biggest key there. So when you see that, this is the information on the left-hand side of what was keyed in. On the right-hand side is what you can change it to for the information. And then you can see the selected images, or if you just need to do one. Let's see what else we have here. So if we open the recycle bin, you can see, I don't think we have anything. paste. Nothing in recycle bin. So I hadn't recycled anything. So that's real quick the workflow of what needs to be done. Simply keying in the images, making your plan, making the exposure, and then having the work list on there. As you can see, we're on today's date. If we click on all, you can see all the images that were done here. For example, here's a spine study that I had stitched. So you can see kind of what it looks like there. So just a bunch of different things, and you can have them all populated right here. And then obviously too, you can search for stuff. So if I'm on all and I click in here and I start typing in Smith, and I close this, you can see all my Smiths pop up in my search field. I got rid of everybody else. If I delete it, then it goes back to my entire work list.